Hey guys, it's Snowflake here, and welcome to episode 2 of Fighting Fantasy Books RNG edition. Last time we went through, unsuccessfully attempted the Warlock Firetop Mountain. What actually happened in that one? Let me just remind myself. I think we got killed by a crocodile? We got killed by something. Because Warlock of Firetop Mountain involved a lot of loops, and when I'm using RNG to work out where I'm going, we just kept going around in circles and repeatedly fighting creatures you didn't need to fight, and eventually died. I'm not sure how this will work with the Citadel of Chaos. I significantly hope that we do not end up in a loop. But yeah, Citadel of Chaos, this is the next edition in the Fighting Fantasy books. And this is what we are doing today. There are some subtle, well, not so subtle differences from the Warlock of Firetop Mountain in terms of gameplay. But skill, stamina and luck are still the same. So to work those out, we roll the dice and add 6. By the way, if you're not familiar with how this game works, could watch my last video on Warlock of Firetop Mountain, or you can sort of watch me play and I think you'll understand how it all works as I'm playing. But to work out skill, I roll a dice and I add 6. So I got a 2, which isn't that good, so my skill is 8. Skill is what will assist me with fighting. Stamina is rolling 2 dice. So we got a 1 and a 6. Okay, so we got kind of a little saved there. And then add 12. So our stamina is 19, which I think is about average. Yeah. 7 is a pretty average number to get from 2 dice. And luck, we roll 1 die and add 6. And we got a 1. Oof, we're not going to be very lucky today. So that's a total of 7 luck. Blah blah blah. I have read all this, I'm just skimming through it once again. Alright, okay, I know how to fight. Yep. Okay, so the difference between the Citadel of Chaos and the Warlock of Firetop Mountain is we now have the magic factor added in, which we didn't have before. So similarly to skill and luck, we roll a die. 2. Or roll 2 die, isn't it? Yeah, we roll 2. So we got 2 and a 1. Well, that's not very good. And add 6, which is 9. And that's the total number of spells we'll have available to us during this trip. So, okay, you can read this if you want, but I think I've got it. So here are a list of magic spells we're able to use. So we've got Creature Copy, which allows us to duplicate any creature I'm fighting. Has the same skill and stamina scores, and has the same powers. But I can instruct it to attack the creature instead of me. Got ESP, which is basically psychic. It lets me read a creature's mind or tells me what is behind a locked door. However, it can give misleading information if more than one psychic source is close. Fire allows me to conjure up fire, causing a small explosion, or creates a wall of fire to keep creatures at bay. Fool's Gold, which turns ordinary rock into gold. However, it's basically an illusion spell. Doesn't actually change rock to gold. Another illusion. Unreliable. It may create a convincing illusion. The spell will immediately be cancelled if anything dispels it. Levitation. I can Cast the spell onto objects, opponents, and myself. Luck, along with skill and stamina, is special that it may be cast at any time during your adventure, except in battle. It will restore my luck score by half my initial luck score. If it's an odd number, I round down. Okay. Got shielding. Creates an invisible shield which protects you from physical objects. Skill replenishes my skill by half its initial value. Stamina replenishes my stamina by half its initial value. Strength useful when battling strong creatures, but it makes it difficult to control your own strength. Weakness, strong creatures are reduced by this spell to miserable weaklings. Doesn't work against all creatures, but when effective they become puny and much less of a challenge. And we start with a sword, leather armor, a lantern, and a backpack. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so magic we need to take care of as well. We rolled a 9, which means we have 9 spells capable. Oh, oops. 9 spells we can use for this trip, and because this is an RNG edition, we will randomly pick those. And it is possible to have more than one of a spell. So yeah, perhaps you would like to take 3 stamina, 5 ESP, and 5 fire, or maybe you prefer 1 each of the 12, something like that. So we've got 9 spells to pick from. 9 spells, and we have 12. Even actually, it said it there. We have 12 possible spells we can pick. So let's pick our spells. So first of all, we've got 5. So we'll take an illusion. And we've got ourselves 3, which is a fire spell. Then another 3, so that's another fire spell. Four is Fool's Gold. That should be an interesting one. We're going to be fooling some merchants by the sound of it. 4 again, so another Fool's Gold. We're on to 5 of our 9. Oh wait, no, I've done this completely wrong. Never mind, ignore me. I'm gonna discount all of that. I'm sure someone was about to point it out before. I've got 9 spells, but I've got 12 to choose from, so I should be doing a random number between 1 and 12, not 1 and 9. Right, so 3. So we get fire. We start again. And we get 2. We get ESP. And we get 6, which is levitation. And we get 8, which is shielding. Alright, 10, which is stamina. That was definitely one I was hoping to get. 7 is luck. That might be useful considering the low amount of luck we've started with. 4 is Fool's Gold. So not one duplicate so far. Got 2 more to go. 5 is Illusion. And 11 is Strength. So we've actually managed to get no duplicates. We've got one of 9 different spells. We couldn't get them all. It was impossible. Don't need to record magic score anymore because we've got our skills here. And I think that means we're just about ready to go. So let's read the little the history, the little, what do you call it? The prologue. Let's read the prologue. Right, the lawful good folk of the Whale of Willow have lived for some 8 years in awe and fear of the demi-sorcerer Balthus Dire. In awe, since his power is truly awesome. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to let that slide. And in fear, ever since word leaked from his domain, his ambitious plans of conquest were to commence with the Vale itself. A faithful half-elf sent on a spying mission to the Black Tower came galloping back to the Vale 3 days ago with a frantic warning. From within the caverns of Kragan Rock, Balthasar had recruited an army of chaotics and was preparing them to attack the Vale within the week. The good King Salamon was a man of action. Messengers were sent throughout the Vale that day to prepare defences and to summon the menfolk to action. Riders had also been sent to the great forest of Yor to warn the half-elves that lived there and to make an appeal for allied forces. King Salamon was also a wise man. He knew well that the news would inevitably reach the Grand Wizard of Yor, a white sorcerer of great power who lived deep within the forest. The wizard was old, stereotypes, and would not last through a battle of this magnitude. But he schooled a number of young magicians, and perhaps one of his students in the magic arts with courage and ambition would aid the king and his subjects. I'm thinking that's me. You are the star pupil of the Grand Wizard of Yor. He has been a difficult master, and your own impatience has often got the better of you. Perhaps a little too headstrong, you left immediately for Salomon's court. The king welcomed you enthusiastically and explained his plan. The battle could be avoided without bloodshed if Balthus were to be assassinated before his army could be amassed. The mission ahead of you is extremely perilous. Balthasar is surrounded in his citadel by a multitude of appalling creatures. Although magic is your strongest weapon, there will be times when you must rely on your sword to survive. King Salamon has briefed you on your mission and warned you of the dangers that lie ahead. One way through the citadel is the best for you to take. If you discover it, you will be successful with a minimum of personal risk. It may take you several trips to find the easiest way through. You leave the Vale of Willow on the long hike to the Black Tower. At the foot of the hill of Kragan Rock, you can see its outline against the dark sky. Alright, so I'm a star pupil of a wizard, and I need to kill another wizard. That's all there is to it, really. Okay, we start at number 1. Okay, the sun sets. As twilight turns to darkness, you start your climb up the hill towards that forbidding shape silhouetted against the night sky. The citadel is less than an hour's climb. Some distance from its walls, you stop to rest. A mistake already? I didn't even get to make that mistake, as it seems a fearful spectre from which there is no escape. The hairs on your neck prickle as you look towards it, but you are ashamed of your fears. With grim resolve, you march onwards towards the main gate, where you know guards will be waiting. You consider your options. You have already thought about claiming to be a herbalist, come to treat a guard with a fever. You could pose as a trader or an artisan, perhaps a carpenter. You could even be a nomad, seeking shelter for the night. As you ponder the possibilities and the yarns you will have to spin to the guards, I think yarns as lies, you reach the main trail leading up to the gates. 2 lanterns burn on either side of a portcullis. You hear muffled gruntings as you approach, and 2 misshapen creatures step forward. On the left stands an ugly creature with the head of a dog and the body of a great ape, flexing its powerful arms. Its opposite number is indeed its opposite, with the head of an ape on the body of a large dog. This latter guard approaches you on all fours. It stops some meters in front of you, raises itself on its hind legs, and addresses you. Which story will you opt for? Will I pose as a herbalist? Will I claim to be a tradesman? Or will I ask for shelter for the night? So yeah, you can tell the magickas work when you've got 2 creatures with their heads and bodies swapped around. You can tell this wizard is pretty buff. Right, so our first choice of a game. number 1. So we will pose as a herbalist. Turn to 261. Okay. The ape dog asks to see your herbs. Luckily you grabbed a few handfuls of weeds on your way and you show them. Cocking its head to one side, the creature eyes you suspiciously. It asks you for the name of the guard you have come to treat. Something you hadn't planned on. You quickly think of a name to bluff the creature with. Oh boy. Kiltrog, Pincus, or Blag. But I definitely wouldn't pick Blag because that's literally what I'm doing. And that's an easy way to get the guard's suspicion. I mean, I know I'm going to pick RNG, but I'm just going through what I'd do if I was actually playing. I'd go with one of the first two, but in reality, if I was in that situation, I'd probably make up the worst name possible. But let's see. Okay, we're going with Kiltrog. I like that choice. Turn to 81. Please. The ape dog laughs and tells you that Kiltrog is a lazy good-for-nothing and is not worth saving. You breathe a sigh of relief as he walks back and shouts for the gatekeeper. Moments later, the gatekeeper appears and opens a small doorway to let you in. Turn to 251. Nice. So we've gone past our first hurdle without any problems. You walk forward into a spacious open courtyard surrounded by large walls. Various lights are burning and groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. In the centre of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Looking across the yard, you can see what appears to be the main entrance to the tower. Will I creep round the wall towards the tower, stride boldly across the courtyard, or tiptoe through the shadows towards one of the groups? Okay, interesting choice. We're gonna stride boldly across the courtyard. Yeah, we already think we're a herbalist. There's no need to be silent. That was 179. Okay. As you step out of the shadows towards the centre of the courtyard, a voice in the wind cries, "Halt! Stand your ground!" You whirl about but can see no one addressing you. You take another couple of steps. Again the eerie voice orders you to stop. And this time an arrow zings through the air and lands close to your left foot. You jump back. Still you can see no one, but now you are stuck. Will I press on forwards very cautiously, make a dash for the monument in the centre of the yard, or cast a shielding spell around myself and advance? Let's check. Do I have a shielding spell? Yes, I do. Okay, let's see. I'm going to use up my shielding spell and advance. Okay, does seem a bit early to use a spell, but yeah, no choice. The RNG says it. So 341. You cast the spell around yourself and advance. 4 or 5 arrows sing towards you, but stop in the air a meter before they reach you. Dropping harmlessly to the ground, you reach the monument. Remember to cross the shielding spell off your list. Done that, turn to 209. Okay, so at least we had the shielding spell to use. You cast your eyes over the strange structure. It appears not to be a fountain, but a temple of some sort. To one side there is a door, which you may investigate, or you may press onwards towards the Citadel itself. That's 156 or 362. Okay. Looks like we are going to investigate or press onwards. I guess that's to the Citadel? Sure. 156. As you stride across the open courtyard, you notice that you are walking alongside a small mound, almost like a buried pipeline running from the Black Tower to the temple. You bend over to investigate it. Could it perhaps have been made by a mole of some kind? As you touch the mound, it caves in, and to your horror, a long grey tentacle covered in warty growths bursts out of the ground and wraps itself around your leg. How will you fight this thing? Draw your sword, cast a levitation spell, or cast a fire spell? I do have both spells available to me, so let's see. Okay, I'm ignoring my spells and I'm drawing my sword. I hope that's not a bad choice. 71. You draw your sword and hack at the tentacle. The tentacle will not fight back as will a normal creature, but instead is trying to drag you into a large hole in the ground which is opening around its base. You do not need to roll for the tentacle, as it has an attack strength of 15 and a stamina score of 2. Throw for combat in the normal way, but if your own attack strength comes to less than 13, do not subtract any points from your own stamina. However, if you do not defeat the creature within 3 attack rounds, it succeeds in dragging you into its lair, and your adventure is over. Yikes. Okay. So, tentacle. Attack strength of 15 and a stamina score of 2. Okay, so I just need to kill it once. Okay, so my skill is 8. So I need to roll 2 dice and add 8. It just needs to roll 2 dice and add... Oh, no, it's 15, straight up, it's 15. Let's put that in brackets. So I don't need to roll for the tentacle. I just need to roll for me. And I just need to hope I get above 15 at least once in 3 goes. Okay. So I start with 8. I need to roll 2 and get... I need to get 8 once in my next 3 rolls. Okay, 4. I got 8. 16, which is above 15, so I kill the tentacle in one go. So yeah, we got pretty lucky there. So if I do defeat it, I can peel the tentacle off my leg and proceed to the main entrance of the Black Tower. Turn to 218. Phew, that was close. In front of you is a large wooden floor, firmly locked. You may either knock 3 times for the guard, or use a strength spell to try to open it. I do have a strength spell available, so let's see what we do. Okay, we're knocking. It's conserving our magic. 118. The door opens and a large brutish creature steps out. It has a sharp horn in the middle of its forehead, Minotaur, and its skin appears to be armor plated. It grunts to ask you what you want and demands the password before letting you in. Do you know the password? I don't. Turn to 273. If not, I have to bluff my way in. I guess that's our creature. Turn to 198 since I do not know the password. You think quickly, you reach into your bag and pull out a handful of weeds. Showing them to the creature, you explain that you are a herbalist and have come to treat the Lord Librarian, who is critically ill. The messenger never told you of any passwords. Will he believe you? Test your luck. If you're lucky, he believes you and lets you in. If not, he doesn't care who you are. You may not enter, and he advances with his pike. Well, my luck is pretty bad at the moment. So I need to get less than 7 by rolling with my 2 dice rolls. 1, oh that's great, and 3. Okay, so I was lucky, but my luck goes down to 6. Okay. So yeah, he believes me. 177. You are in a narrow hallway. This continues for several meters and ends in a doorway. Halfway along the passage, you can see an archway where some steps lead downwards. Will I go forwards to the door or creep down the steps? Looks like I'm creeping. 3, 4, 4. You follow the stairs downwards. The air is cool and stagnant. At the foot of the stairs is a door. Will I try the door or climb the stairs and go up the door to the ground floor? Okay, we're climbing the stairs, going back to the ground floor. We just went downstairs and upstairs for no reason. You try the handle of the door and it turns, opening into another hallway. Some distance along, the passageway turns to the right and ends shortly in another door. On the door is a sign, which reads, "Please ring for butler." A rope, evidently the bell, hangs by the door. Will I ring as instructed or try the door handle? In my experience, if you don't follow instructions that are written down somewhere, it usually ends badly. But let's see. We're not following instructions, we're going straight to the handle. 361. It's likely to end badly. Again, the door opens, but as you open it, you hear the deafening clanging of an alarm bell. Test your luck. If you're lucky, or if you're unlucky, turn. If you're unlucky, turn. Okay. So we need less than 6 from 2 rolls. This is not good. 5. Is it equal to or less? 361. Remember 361. I can't remember. Equal to or less. So there's still a chance if I get a 1 that I'll be good. It's a 4. So I'm unlucky. My luck score still goes down to 5. Okay, this could potentially be a game over here. 126. You pause to consider. In a state of panic ahead, the passageway forks to the left and the right. As you are trying to decide which direction to take, 3 creatures emerge from the left-hand passage. Calling the noises you heard, footsteps was not entirely accurate, as you will see. Turn to 316. Uh-oh. You're gonna fight? The footsteps you heard, which really ought to be called hand steps, belong to 3 wheelies, which I can see a picture of them here. Very freaky creatures, which now roll down the passageway towards you, forcing you back to the door. These creatures are peculiar beasts, having instead of legs an extra set of hands. They move by cartwheeling along at quite a rapid pace. Their heads, or at least their faces, are set in the centre of their chests. While they are not well practiced at swordsmanship, given their awkward means of movement, they are excellent knife throwers. Grasping knives from their belts as they spin along, they can launch them at a rapid-fire pace. Damn, these things are good. Like large Catherine wheels. At the moment, 3 such knives are speeding their way towards you. You may either use a shielding spell, which I no longer have, or test my luck. If I opt for the latter and I'm lucky, oh, this could be it. My luck skill's only 5, so I need 5 or less. 1 and 6, so unlucky again. Unlucky, turn to 300. This could be it. A knife is heading straight my way. Throw 1 die. If you roll a 1, 2 or 3, then this number of knives hits you. Each knife does 2 stamina points. If I roll a 4, 5 or 6, then they miss me. You must prepare to counterattack either with an illusion spell or by drawing your sword. Okay, so I'm not dead. That's good. So 6. 5. Okay, they miss me. Lovely. Do I have an? I do have an illusion spell. So will I do illusion or sword? I'm gonna do an illusion spell. So yeah, that's gone. Turn to 244. So I haven't been damaged yet, surprisingly. As you concentrate on your spell, the wheelies stop. Evidently, they're a little apprehensive about what you are planning. Suddenly, in front of their hairy eyes, you disappear. Again, they chatter excitedly. Where have you gone to? Under your invisibility illusion, you may continue, choosing either the right-hand passageway or the left-hand passageway, leaving the wheelies to search around for you in vain. Okay, so we have escaped them. Alright, let's go left to 243, which is just above. The passage runs along for several meters and then ends at a door. You listen at the door and can hear a deep, heavy breathing coming from inside, as if some large creature were asleep in there. Cautiously, you try the handle and the door opens. Just inside, although the room is dark, you can see that a very large goblin-like creature is asleep on the floor. You may either risk tiptoeing into the room or may return to the fork and try the right-hand passage. Alright, we're returning, we ain't risking it. My luck score is dangerously low. Let's go back to 2. A little way up the passage, there is a doorway on the right hand side. This door has some strange scrawlings on it, but they are in a language that you do not understand. Will I try opening it or continue up the passage? Alright, let's open it up. 142. You try the handle and it turns. You can hear nothing coming from inside the room, so you open the door to look around. The room is small, with a golden candlestick on a table, but suddenly you hear a creaking sound coming from the floor. Too late. You realize that the stones beneath your feet are shifting to reveal a trap. You fall feet first into a pit. As you hit the bottom, you roll sideways, down another passage, and continue rolling downwards. Try as you might, you cannot stop yourself rolling head over heels until eventually you come to a halt in a small chamber. That's not good, but the shock has been too much for you. As the world goes black around you, you hear excited chatterings, and you pass out. Uh-oh. Turn to 234 as this hit. Were the scrawlings on the door important? You wake up in a dirty room with rough walls cut into the rock. Iron bars in the window and the door confirm your suspicion that you are in a prison cell of some sort. There is not much you can do but sit on the straw mattress in one corner until someone appears. An hour or so later, you hear a shuffling noise outside. Looking through the bars in the door, you can see a lizard-like creature shuffling down the corridor, carrying a mug and bowl. The beast has 2 heads which talk to each other as he walks. Its skin is grey and scaly, and a long tail follows it up the passage. I guess this is an illustration of it. It stops at your door and pushes the bowl and mug for a small opening into your cell, then shambles off to sit at a table across the hall. You have been given bread and broth. Will you eat and drink, or will you call out to this creature, Calicorn? Okay, let's see. Okay, it looks like we're just going to be peacefully eating our food. So turn to 397. This is not much of a meal, but you are hungry and thirsty, and this offering restores 2 stamina points. Actually, we hadn't lost any stamina points so far. Now you may either call out for Calicorn or choose a spell to try and get you out of a situation. Okay. We're going to call out to our buddy now. 69. I hope that's not what we have to do to escape the prison. The creature is not very talkative, but you do discover that you're in the dungeons beneath the Black Tower, and you'll probably never be released, unless you are given to the Ganges for sport. When you question him about Balfour's Dire, he goes silent. You'd better try a spell to get you out of this prison. Turn to 193. Okay, so I was going to have to do that anyway. Good to know. Choose a spell. Fool's Gold, ESP, Illusion. If I have none of these, turn to 283. Okay, so I have Fool's Gold, and I have ESP. So I pick, and I don't have Illusion anymore. So I have one of those 2. Okay, we're going with ESP. 123. You concentrate and images from the Calicorn flash through your mind. You see a plate full of dead snakes and a similar looking creature with greyish skin, possibly the female of its species. Then you feel a great sense of pleasure as you see an unfortunate creature bound to the wall, having its toes tickled with a burning torch. Then you see the plate of snakes again. Okay, let me just reread that again. Plate full of snakes, similar looking creature with grey skin. Unfortunate creature bound to the wall, having its toes tickled with a burning torch. Then you see the plate of snakes again. Evidently this creature thinks about little but the simple pleasures of its miserable life, and you will not learn much about how to escape. You better try a full spell or an illusion spell if you have neither turned to that. Okay, so ESP got wasted. So we're left with Fool's Gold. 211. You offer him the pebbles you have turned to gold. Everything I want is down here, he says. I am fed, I have a job to do, and if I get bored I am allowed to torture the prisoners for amusement. What do I want with gold? You had better try another spell. Will you go for an ESP spell or an illusion spell if I have neither turned to 283? And that is it. I don't have... I guess illusion was the one I needed to get out. Turn to 283, this may be it. Without magic, your fate is sealed. You are doomed to spend the rest of your days as a prisoner in the Citadel of Chaos. You have failed in your mission, and that is it. Game over. Without even losing a single stamina point, I have lost this game. Damn, the RNG really didn't work for us. We used that illusion spell. What did we use that illusion spell for? To trick our way past the wheelies, yeah. Maybe I should have just fought them. That wasn't exactly my choice, but yeah. Trapped in prison. Forever. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of RNG Fighting Games. It's another RNG Fighting Fantasy game, sorry. And yeah, it's going to be another failure. I'm expecting more failures than successes, by the way, because even when you're playing this for real, it's really hard to succeed in these. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, if you're in the local neighborhood, if you could, free me from jail, I'll be very much appreciated. But yeah, failing that, I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.